I don't know. Can y'all hear us here this morning? We're having a little restream issue going on this morning. But hey, you know what? Mayhem Monday. Let's pick the topic live on air and help you have the most productive week possible.
Let's do it.
To the HPLS podcast. Live, relevant, and high performance information, conversations, and education weekly. And we got a victorious winner this morning.
Yes.
So Jeff's got week 1. We'll see how week 2.
Yes.
Good morning,
so
everybody.
Jeff won last week. So Jeff, if you want to join us Friday, let us know.
Yeah, we got Ridley Friday. Mark Ridley's on every Friday now.
Well, yeah. But remember, we invited until we get the swag, we invited guests to join Friday's show with us and Mark if they choose to. So
yes, that's right. Sorry, I forgot all about that. Yes,
that's all right.
Cheers
so
for
hey,
that.
Good morning, y'all. Good morning, Lisa. By 2 seconds, you got Jeff. So
Yes,
Lisa's in the lead this week.
So I got like a Dan Bunyan thing going on here that I haven't shaved today. Today's a holiday in Ontario, so we're coming to you live from holiday.
Okay.
Had the week starting off good. Had a great call with some coders and stuff this morning for something I got going, and got some awesome feedback and some pretty cool things that we're going to get moving forward. So really excited about that. That was kind of like the last hour and a half of my day before this was spent on that. So I apologize, DJ. I was literally got on at 2 minutes too, but
my friend.
Mayhem Monday, brother. Another
Yes.
week, another blank canvas for y'all. And I'm just trying to get all the things here because
we got a good week as well. We did some great guests this week. We got Josh tomorrow.
We got Josh tomorrow. We got Brian Byro on Thursday. We got Dean on Wednesday, and then we got Ridley on Friday. Like, we got some cool things, and not to mention we started doing events too. So,
yeah,
you guys will see
the event. Did it help?
Yeah, so we got a few. I guess thumbnails, I guess is what you would call them. I don't know. Yeah. I guess that's probably what you would call them. So we got some cool things coming up this week. I'm looking forward to Thursday. Brian Byro, he's just like killer, man. If you guys want to understand teams, really how to seize the day, seize the woo, that window of opportunity.
Yes.
Yeah, it's gonna be good. Geez, I feel like I'm losing my voice already, and it's just Monday, boys. We gotta figure this out, my friends. We gotta figure this out. So, you ready, DJ? You ready to just dive into this bad boy? All right, so here we go.
Right there.
You're killing me. You always wait.
Hey, listen.
Now, so this one, I don't know if we've done this. I mean, some of them are just, I usually write them down, but maybe. So, schedule a day to win your year. So, have we done that one before? No. Okay, cool.
No. What do you have on that? Yeah, let me see the notes.
This one's usually better when you do it in January, but hey, you know what? Win the last half of your year, everybody. Why not?
And yeah, listen. Hey, we're quarters, okay? Listen, if we pace ourselves in quarters, and we keep those checkpoints, I mean, we'll know where we're at. So,
yeah. So. This idea, and I don't know about you, but for years in this industry, decades, I wasn't a calendar person. I thought, you ever done that where you're like, no, I know exactly what I need to do, and I'm just going to go out and do it.
I was against the calendar for the longest time. I was like, you're not going to tell me. I felt like the calendar was against me for a little bit. So, yes, I understand completely.
And here's the thing, right? We've all heard the saying before, weeds will infest an area that doesn't have anything. And if any of y'all have done any work around your house or, watched work being done or watched houses being built, when there's no grass and it's just dirt, eventually it becomes weeds. And, it's mining for what you need in essence. Right. And I remember one of my mentors said, the thing is, Dan, if you want to get serious about your life, you have to get serious about your calendar. And I said, well, what does that mean? Because you want me to operate on a calendar on the weekend? And he says, well, yeah, Like, so he goes, think about it. Like, say if you have things to do, you map out your calendar. He goes, now, do I expect you to sit down and do 45 minutes or an hour of calendar work on a Saturday or Sunday? Probably not. But Sunday night is a great time to schedule your week
Yes,
and
sir.
schedule the things you want. It gives you clarity. It gives you ambition. It gives you intention. It gives you all of the above to make better things happen in your world. And originally it was like, come on, man. Like, I wake up on Saturday morning. I don't know if I'm getting up at 7 or 9 or 11, depending on when I go to bed. Like, I mean, we're talking also, I was probably 20 years old when this started
Yeah.
happening, right? So 20-year-old for a calendar for a 20-year-old is like, go take a long walk off a short pier. You know what I mean?
Yes,
I'm
sir.
invincible. Like, I'm bulletproof and all the other things at 20. But the one thing that he said that started me going was he said, here's the thing in business, if you don't have a calendar, people will fill it with their false emergencies. And I remember when he said that to me, because I was like, come on, false emergencies. What is a false emergency? And then I started paying attention. And it's like, okay, in an office, and for all of you, that have an office, you ever notice that one person that loves to waste time when you're not doing anything, they come into your office, right? And if we don't have intention with what we're doing, if we don't have specific things set in our calendar, and if our calendar is not full with activities that help us move our needle, we are subject to other people's false emergencies and customers' false emergencies, DJs, family members' false emergencies, co-workers false emergencies, managers false emergencies. Like, there are a lot of things. I remember managers coming to my office saying, oh my god, I need sales numbers by tomorrow. And I'm like, okay, well, what's going on? Like, well, I just need them. I'm behind. I'm like, okay, so because you're behind now, your false emergency is coming on my plate. It might be an emergency for you, but it's not for me because I'm doing my job. Why
Yeah.
is systems not allowed to do the reporting? And not only that, if you're sitting there staring into the abyss in your office, it's like an invite for somebody to come in and just waste your time. And
Bingo.
yeah, and I don't know about you, but when it comes to achievements, when it comes to getting to that next level, um, I'm like, for me, it's what it's all about.
Mm.
And there's no like,
Yep.
oh my God, you're a robot. It's like, no, like, if this is what you want to do, it takes action work to get there. Right. And I think we lose that sometimes, where it's like, oh my God, this is so scheduled and this doesn't make sense. But that scheduling is really what takes you, like, so here. And what I did here is I listed 5 things that I put in my schedule every day.
Yep.
Okay. So the top 5 things are my big 5 moves.
Yep.
Always in my day, I have one of each of my 5 moves. And this was actually Friday's inception call was the big 5 moves with that I did with my inception students. And I kind of went through all the 5 moves. So for anyone watching, listening, the big 5 moves is like, a move is a big kind of to do, right? So say it's prospecting is obviously the biggest to do, but inside prospecting, it's email sequencing, it's cold calls, it's follow-ups, it's all this. So it's the overarching big move with all your tasks underneath.
Yep.
Second one is personal time. Then I want creative time, reflection time, and review time. To me, those are my big 5, right? So I have my big 5 moves. Every day I do 5 things towards each of those areas to move my business. Then I have personal time, and those are blocks of time in my day where they're personal time. I do
I'm,
whatever I want, and I don't
I'm,
know
I'm
what I'm going
I'm
to do
glad you
until I
I'm
get
glad
there.
you mentioned those two, because I think that's the key, is even scheduling the personal stuff, the to give you that break that you need. That was what I started to cram my day too much, and that was where it was like, hold on, what am I doing?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, once you take those little meditation or a walk or whatever it is that
Mm-hmm.
you do that helps you kind of get back focused and not feel this. I used to feel this panic. I
Mm-hmm.
was just listening to Tom Bilyeu this morning at the gym, and he was talking about all of this. And he said, this panic feeling. And I think that's what we feel when we know what we should be doing, but because we don't have it categorized, we don't have it prioritized, we don't have it listed out in front of us, your false emergencies, just like you're talking about, they
Mm-hmm.
get in, and all of a sudden you're all over, and you're
Well,
just this.
and here's the thing, right, DJ, is you made one of the points you made there was like so bang on what we think we should be doing. And here's the thing. When we screw the pooch, when we don't operate at our highest levels, when we don't perform and are productive at our highest levels, when we take free time, it's like we should be doing something else. And it's very difficult. Sorry, let me rephrase that. For high performers, it's very difficult to go in and take a 15-20 minute break when you've been messing around all morning and haven't got anything done.
Yes.
Right. Because then that's that guilt part of it where you have bigger, especially if you walk into every day and say, who needs me in my A game?
Yeah.
Because you're letting those people down. Right. That is by far number one. But if you operate at your highest level, if you utilize your calendar as a tool instead of a chore, and if you operate with intention on every single task, strategy, output that you're doing that day, that 15 minutes, it's like, wow, man, like that morning was so productive, like,
Yes.
and this is the big thing is this is what so many salespeople miss. I think, and I think not only just salespeople, brother, people in general.
I think
how
we
many
all
managers do you know that are unproductive? Yeah. Like how many managers, how many VPs do you know that are unproductive compared to some of the productive ones? Right? Like if you ever read any Jack Welch's book, right? When he says like, listen, when I was CEO, I was getting more done in a day than most people get done in a month. And he's the CEO, and most people think CEOs go, okay, but like the amount of energy they burn is huge. And if they're not at their peak performance, they lose. Right. And again, it goes back to I have my 5, you have your 5, right? You might not have creative time, reflection time, or review time in your daily calendar. I do. Because for me, it's like, okay, that creative time for me, that is where the juices flow. And my call this morning, so it was from 7:30 until almost 9. So we like literally I got on at what? 3 minutes
like
to.
minutes ago.
And so that was all creative time because I'm going through these things and I'm watching something being built and it's like, like and of course, then you start writing down all your things and I got like all my creative juices flowing. Creative time to me is some of the most productive time. You hear people, well, let's do a brainstorming session. I don't have time to brainstorm. You make time to brainstorm because that could be the next, one applied idea away from changing your life, right? So that could be what it is. So, and if you don't fill your calendar with the things that drive your needle, like I have some students, their 5 moves, their big 5 moves is what fills their calendar.
Yeah.
Right? That's awesome. Every day before the end of the day, I review the next day and the rest of the week. Because as we go through our day, things that were a priority at the beginning of the day sometimes are not a priority at the end of the day. And if I have a meeting or I have a demo or something where I'm looking at my Monday and I'm going through my Monday, and by the end of the day, Monday, I look at my schedule, I say, okay, that Wednesday thing is no longer a priority because I've got this and this and this coming. I'm going to have to push the Wednesday thing off. And that reassessment of your days, I think is one of the most critical points. And I think it's one of the biggest points that when we look at a calendar, so many people don't do. Like Sunday nights, I always sit down and I look at my calendar. Last night I didn't because it's a holiday today. And I don't know if I just changed the volume on my microphone, but I apologize if I did.
You're good.
So it's a holiday today. So I never looked at it last night. Well, I'll tell you, when I got up this morning, it was like, oh my God. Like, it's like, I just go into this loop mode where it's like, okay, what's my day like? What's my day? And I know I want to do a bunch of work outside. So I'm like looking at my day and I'm like, okay, what needs to move? What has to happen? What doesn't happen? Realizing that when I booked things a week and a half ago, I didn't realize it was a holiday today. You know what I mean? Like all of these things happen to us, I think, all the time. Have you ever got an appointment where you're waiting for a specialist and then they call you and say, okay, by the way, like we got somebody canceled, you can get in early. Right? It's like, okay, now you got to move things around. If you didn't have that review time, it wouldn't work. The reflection time for me is like, okay, I just went through 2 days of these meetings. What was the big result from them? Like, what did I learn? What did I not learn? And that's the reflection, right? Okay, that meeting I had with my manager, I wasn't prepared. So what am I going to do now based on that reflection time? I now go into that creative time. How am I going to be creative and get bigger things done for that meeting? Right? They all interconnect. But when we have white space, I call it white space. When we have gaps, we have to be very, very careful that somebody doesn't fill it with weeds.
Yes, exactly. We got some good comments out here too. We gotta get to
sorry,
some
I
of these.
apologize.
No, you're good.
So where are we? Oh gosh. Okay, okay. So Lisa says, nice one. Looking forward to this topic. Think a few mornings are stuck all over on the event that shows waiting for broadcast.
Yeah, the event did not trigger, I think, or something. So I don't know.
Okay. So we'll have to actually figure that one out. Preach says, good morning. So true regarding false emergencies. There.
Yes.
Yeah. How many times has somebody asked you for something, right? And it's like, oh, okay, yeah. And you break your back to get it. And then you go and drop it on the desk like, oh, thanks. And they just put that, you're like, I thought you need that. Yeah, it's kind of moved. So it's all good. And you've like stopped everything.
You just pushed everything to the side to get it done.
Yeah.
Yes,
the next thing you know, it's Friday again. Exactly. Heard advice to not check email as the first thing of the day. Plan the day in advance on the calendar and execute to ensure you're getting your priorities instead of everyone else's. Absolutely. Email is, and my mentor
don't even touch your phone. So I've listened to so many things, and that's one thing that I do religiously, because I will tell you, I still will sometimes go to it, but I literally will throw it down almost like, no, because it will trigger you to automatically read something, and then you're in response and you're not thinking of what you want to do or what you have to do, but you're just reacting now. You're reacting to whatever is on the phone instead of responding accordingly. And I think that's the big key.
It depends on your role, right, DJ?
True.
So if you're in customer service and your day revolves around making sure everybody's served, it's very difficult. Now, I would say don't immediately go to your email, but you only have a specific period of time. Whereas a salesperson, we create our days, right? If you're operations and you're running the freight of a company, your volumes, your dictations, your track and trace, and what happens with that will very much dictate your day.
Yeah.
But I've heard email is a convenient storage location for other people's false emergencies. Because when you open it, it's like, oh my God, we need this today. And then you go in today and you're like, it's not ready. It's like, but you needed that today.
Yeah.
Right. Like, and so it is. It's like we are what, 9
I'm glad you brought that up.
I haven't even opened email yet.
Good point.
Right. Like, it's just what it is. Scheduling your day helps you stay focused. What is going on here? It's freezing on me. I'm bad at grabbing my phone first thing. Yeah, Richard, you know what? It's a lot of people do. A lot of people grab their phone before they even get out of bed. Try putting it in a different room. Like, it works. Yeah. Like it does. And it's
it is a life changer. I'll tell you that. Try for a week, guys. Then tell me if it changes.
And here's the thing. Do you remember when phones first came out? So I remember vividly my first BlackBerry, and it was like a pager with like a keyboard on it, right? Is essentially the way it looked. Yeah. And I remember vividly getting my first car phone, and it was like a suitcase with a phone on top of it, right? Like, it was huge. And for me, it was like I would I'd like tuck it into the front seat so I'd have it there and I'd have it plugged in and it was all good. But when phones and BlackBerries and all that stuff first came out, it was freeing. Like, it was freeing because I didn't have to be stuck in my office. Or if you're out on sales calls and you come back to like all these people going, oh my God, I need this. Like, it was easier to manage. Yeah. But it's become,
it's a double-edged sword. It's a double-edged sword, man.
Because now you're supposed to be available 24/7, 365.
Yes. Now you have a phone. Don't you have a phone? Everybody has a phone. I should be able to.
Why aren't you answering that text? Why aren't you answering that text 30 seconds after it comes in? Right? But it's also created speed in our business.
Yes.
right? So there's always pros and cons with everything. Like
course.
somebody's going to say, well, Dan, you're telling me to be this robot and regulated to my calendar. Okay. You might think of that as a con. I think of it as a pro, because if I look at the beginning of the day and I say, this is what I want to accomplish today. And I ask myself the questions: who needs me on my A game? What will I need to accomplish at the end of the day to feel that satisfaction? A, B, C, D, right?
Yes.
Excuse me. And so all of that equates to what's that package of my day that's going to deliver the feeling I'm looking for. It's fairly easy. And if that means tuning everything out and going to work and just breaking down a proposal for the next 2 hours, and that's what's going to make me feel fulfilled for the day and help my business, my career, my life move forward, and that's what I do. Turn off your email.
I love that you said that. It makes you feel fulfilled. I think that's the biggest key, everybody. Your schedule should make you feel fulfilled. So what you're doing throughout the day or what you're doing daily should not make you feel this anxiety, this panic, this, oh my God, it's 5 o'clock and what happened? If you're feeling that, then you need the schedule. You need to
and here's the thing:
start strategically using it.
When you're not organized and when you don't have things in a priority sequence, it gets overwhelming.
Very overwhelming.
But if you're prioritized and you focus on one thing at a time, I mean, I do it when I cut the grass. And I'm as simple as cutting the grass. I look at the front lawn, I look at the back lawn, I'm like, oh my God, the grass has grown so much. I got to get it. Okay, well, hold on, Dad. You cut the first corner, cut the second corner, cut the third corner, cut the fourth corner. And I've literally broken like my front yard down into one song.
Yeah.
2 songs. So I'm like, okay, so by the end of this song, I got to be half done. By the end of the song, I'm going to be full done. And then when I go into the backyard, it's the same thing. It's broken down. It's 1 section, 2 sections, weed whipping's a 3rd section, and then cleanup's a 4th section if I have to rake any. And you just break it down. Like Brian Biro taught me ages ago. He says, inch by inch, anything's a cinch. When we look too far out, we always get overwhelmed. Like I think even the most productive people on the planet get overwhelmed when they look too far out.
Yes.
That's why there's a science. Okay. So at the end of the day, when I've accomplished this, I'm going to go to tomorrow and figure out tomorrow, where can I move things to be the most productive ever? You know, there was one, it was a Napoleon Hill, and I forget the names of the people, but he came out and he says to somebody, he says, listen, I want my team to be the most productive possible. He says, okay, here's what you do. Every day you write a list, 1 to 10, highest priority to lowest priority. You start with 1. You don't move to number 2 until 1's done. If you only get through 6 today, number 7 becomes top priority tomorrow. And then you add the additional 6 on the back end of the 10.
That's
right?
That's the rules for this book right here. Same rules for the Zig, the Zig calendar.
Yes. And you just do it. And, and then you will be the most productive ever. But you've got to figure out what is the most productive thing for you to do.
Yes.
And some people so here's the thing, you look at it from sales calls perspective, right? So obviously prospecting is a very productive portion, but if you're not in the mindset to prospect, it actually does you more harm than good. So what I did is I started creating priming time. So what I did is every day I would come in and I would connect with customers. I would connect with people who I knew raised my energy, who I knew I could have a good conversation with, because no matter the mindset, no matter the task, it's the mindset that matters more than the task. Because if you go in and you say, okay, so for the next half hour, I'm going to reply to emails, but you reply to it in a pissy attitude, those emails are never going to come across the way you want them to. If you're trying to write a book, never sit down and write a book that's going to be a positive book in a negative manner. Yeah. Right? Napoleon Hill said this when he wrote Think and Grow Rich, his original manuscript, Think and Grow Rich. He goes, it was crap because my mindset wasn't in it. It's only when he started to produce that positive mindset that the verbiage and the way sentences string together to make paragraphs, the way paragraphs made pages, the way pages made chapters, the way chapters made the book was an international, century bestseller. So for us, that was a big thing for me is if I'm going to go from 10 till 12 every day and then from 2 to 4 every day for sales, I need to figure out a way to put myself into that mentality. So I would schedule calls with customers and I would pick and choose customers, friends, acquaintances to have a conversation with. Like there was
Yeah.
one guy, Mike, that I would call and he was like always like chipper and always in such a great attitude. I'd say, so tell me the last sales call you were on. He was like, oh man, you know, da, da, da. And he would like prime me up.
Get you fired up. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I'd make sales calls. So I always went into it with the mindset. And this is where intention comes in, because if we lack intention for what we do, we will never do it to our highest ability, whatever that is. It doesn't matter if you have 20 rungs, 50 rungs, 100 rungs above when it comes to productivity. You can only operate at your highest intention for your level of awareness as to where it is today. Right. But every time you do that, you raise your level of awareness when it comes to intention. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So we've got, for me, that productive feeling creates excitement and momentum to keep going. Exactly. Exactly. That's exactly what it is. Greg says 9 to 9:30 personal time for DJ to go on his Monster drink bin. We really need to get Monster.
We're waiting. Come on, Monster. Does anybody moving Monster right now? Get us a connection.
Yeah, exactly. Alex says the book 12-week year about creating a sense of urgency in your selling career by Brian Moran. We'll have to check that out.
I gotta check that out. Yeah.
Thanks for that suggestion. Everybody every day needs to set time to totally zoom out and take time to reflect for their personal review. What are you grateful for? Absolutely. Right. That's where like your diary comes in, all that kind of stuff. My phone was the size of a carry-on luggage. It wasn't that crazy, Jeff. It was insane how big those, like when you think about it now, and I remember Gary Vee saying it, that this has more power in it than what Ronald Reagan used to run the United States when he was president, right?
Oh yeah.
But like I if somebody's got a picture of like their first, Jeff, I don't know if you do. I never bothered to take pictures. I wasn't a picture guy. But if somebody's got a picture of, because you remember the old cell phones, right? That were like literally as big as this water bottle, the white ones with the antenna. And it used to have the metal clip on the back and you'd clip it and like it would literally rip your belt in half. It was so heavy. But you drop that thing down 10 flights of stairs, you pick it up, you don't even lose the call. Never mind breaking it. You don't even lose the call.
One of the greatest phones. Anybody who had it, I know you business people out there, somebody had it. The StarTAC, the one looks like a little shell that closed on itself. I was like one of the real everybody. That phone was like indestructible. I swear there's probably somebody who still has it.
Oh, probably. And then you had the Motorola flips with like the battery that was like 6 inches thick. And then when the Matrix came out, you had the that was like the coolest phone on the planet. I was like trying to be Neo all the time. So then, yes, the calendar reduces anxiety. Plan the work and work the plan. 100%. You need a bigger yard, Alex says. No, I don't. You know, it's but and this is really what it comes down to, right? Is, you know, all joking aside, what is it that's going to move the needle of your day the most? What is the biggest thing you need to do today? What is the biggest thing you need to do this morning? What is the biggest thing you need to do to get in the mindset you need to get in order to own the day? You know, like we showed you the one, make today so good, yesterday gets jealous. What is the mindset you need to be in? If you are not in that mindset and you need to get in that mindset, that's your number one priority. Because without that, you can't continue the process. And it's fairly simple, not easy for some people, but simple, because once you start taking this and making it a reality, then it becomes that dopamine and serotonin drip that you need at the beginning of the day. Like, you know, some people warm up to music, some people exercise. Everybody has a different way of priming their day. Mm-hmm. Everybody does. Some people have never even bothered to prime their day. I'd encourage you to start priming your day and seeing the difference that it creates. Yeah, like massive difference. And it's, you know, here's the thing, DJ, is it's not always like exercise or like there's mornings where my best prime is waking up and it's quiet and it's just reflection. Nothing to do with exercise, nothing to do with the heart rate going or the blood flowing or anything. It's just reflection. It's saying, hey, man, what a great weekend. I got so much work done. I got so many things done. Yes, there was this issue, but how did I work that issue as my best self?
Yeah.
And it's that self-reflection. It's just that quiet time where it's just you, or maybe you and your spouse, or maybe you and your dogs, or maybe you and your cat, or whatever it is. And it's just, that's why I love summer so much, because I can actually go stand out on the back deck with a coffee and just kind of stare and go like, yeah, oh,
And
and
I'm
take it
so
in.
glad
And
you said that too, though, because being by yourself, guys, I think, and that self reflection that morning, that's part of my morning kind of routine thing, besides exercise or anything like that, is just that reflection and just me, because I think we all struggle with the fact that. When we're by ourselves, it's what we think about ourselves when we're by ourselves that really is the biggest thing that matters more than anything else, more than what anybody else thinks of what you're doing, where you're going, what you're trying to achieve. It's what you think about yourself when you're by yourself that
Mhm,
really is the biggest thing.
mhm,
And those moments that I was able to, that I can just, like you said, reflect and be like, okay, even if I'm feeling that anxiety, I woke up. I mean, today, I'll say today, I didn't realize, I just talked it over with Mags, but today I woke up, I'm like, oh, I feel like I'm going to go through this thing. I'm going to push myself. I went to the gym. I did my whole thing, but I'm like, this does not feel right. What happened? What is off today? And so even while I'm at the gym, on the treadmill, on the elliptical, all these things, I'm like, why am I feeling like this? And so just thinking, I wasn't even listening to anything, reading anything. I'm thinking, why? Then it was, oh, well, I ate this yesterday, and man, I don't usually do that. And I ate it this time, and I don't usually do that either. Is that what it is? Maybe it's my stomach more than anything that's just messing everything up.
mhm, mhm,
But that internal reflection on yourself of what you're actually going through, you know better than anybody else. So you know what's best
mhm.
for you. You know when you need energy. You know when you need a break. You know what. But taking that time, holy cow! You're so
World
right.
of difference. World of difference.
World.
Mhm. Awesome, brother. So Jeff says it's Nextel. How about the one that
Yes,
had a pager as well? Yes.
Star Trek. Those
Richard says I worked for Nokia way back when before anyone had a phone. I had one early and remember being at the grocery store talking to my wife, and people would look at me like they thought I was so important. Yes.
now,
Yeah.
Richard,
It's
was
like,
it was
what
it
does this
remember the
person
little
do?
tiny Nokias that they came out with that
Yeah.
like it was like, okay, let's see how small we can make the phone. Now obviously
Yes.
but
And
oh
then there
man.
was that one that flipped up and it was like the keyboard where the phone
Or
flipped in
there was the
half and it went
razor,
like
the
this.
razor. Come on, everybody had a razor at some
Yeah,
point
yeah, yeah,
in
yeah, yeah, yeah.
their
Geez, we could do a whole show just on phones. So
we
DJ,
could.
what
Yes.
did we the route that we took, what did we get
Well,
today? What do you
listen,
got?
I don't know if it goes with today or not. Although you did mention reflection and a few other things, I just loved the quote so much. I found it over the weekend, and I was like, this just makes me think of Dan because it's your whole okay, how you're gonna apply it, how are you gonna use it now, how are you gonna apply it, what did you learn, how you gonna, and so it's like boom, I seen this quote, I'm like. I got to use this Monday. No matter what the show is, I'm using it. So here it is, y'all. But again, thank you everybody for joining us as you do weekly. Lisa, we got you in the lead. Jeff, again, if you want to join us and Mark on Friday, let us know. You won last week. I know we do have some swag coming. I love my Believe shirt. This is my wife and Coop got this, and Coop was so excited for me to wear this today. Hey, if any more shirts like this, y'all Believe anything like that, send them. I'll wear them. But
Even though it doesn't have anything to do with Ohio on it.
it doesn't have to do anything with
Nothing to
Ohio.
do with Cleveland. You're still gonna wear it. All right, all right. Well,
Yep,
that's a
yep.
new leaf. All right.
Well, we're turning a new leaf. But again, thank you, everybody, seriously, for joining us weekly. Hopefully, you're starting your day right with us. 9 a.m. to 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. Sales Chatter Live. Follow us, like and subscribe down below if you're watching this on our replay on YouTube. Again, Dan Deigan or Sales Chatter Live on YouTube. You can find us as well as our LinkedIn. Thank you to American Logistics Centurion Trucking for making this possible. Again, y'all believe. That's where it all starts. But there's no name, so it's just a quote on there.
So it's DJ's quote, y'all.
So Jeff is there. Reading without reflecting is like eating without digesting.
To the HPLS podcast. Live, relevant, and high performance information